Okay, folks. Boy, have I ever got a journal for you. I just wrote this one. It's 217. Jehovah is not God, and you are divine. Remembering our true identity. I don't know. I don't know what to say, so I'm just going to read. Okay on one hand and darn on the other. Looks like I'll be sharing a journal I had thought would be private. Not this one, another one. Oh well, what can I say? I never know what's going to happen with things, so it's really good to be non-attached. It's much more peaceful that way, I can tell you. A lot less drama. Now, as perhaps you can sense, I'm not really comfortable with this yet. Thus, I'm making this sort of introductory journal to introduce the other one. It's ridiculous in a way, making such a big deal out of it. I don't mean to, but I'm watching myself do that. Oh well, it is what it is. So let's go. There are many things going on for most of us. Heck, maybe all of us. Hey, that's possible with time spinning out of existence, at least in the ways we have known it. Well, so much is accelerating so quickly that it's stunning. Internal changes are happening so often and so fast that for most of us, our comfort zones are way out of shape or simply out to lunch. We're uncomfortable. So I'm making room for that. I guess I may have a number of empaths among my subscribers because I can feel you. I know I can't hide from you. And it's pretty funny, really, since I'm also aware of those who come to my site and watch or read the journals. I can feel you. Sometimes I even respond to those questions I feel in you. Yet now I know that I am also being seen. It's a funny feeling. And that's fine. Truth is best. My life has been so much more wonderful since I put truth at the top of my high regard list. And it hasn't been easy. It's required a lot of letting go of other things so that truth could take the higher position. She requires a lot of you, such as loyalty. Truth is a wonderful goddess. She is both pure and powerful. She is life-changing. Oh, and I'm speaking metaphorically, by the way. If you'll put your life in her hands this way, well, she changes lives. Just elevate her, that's all. And you'll see. Truth is one of the qualities of Source, a divine quality. When we take on these qualities, we get better acquainted with higher self, who always lives in that. We do too, only we don't know it. It's something we keep well hidden from self, that we too are divine. We've bought into every other sort of story but that. Are you familiar with the love of Source, the capital L love that's divine? I don't know how many of us have tasted of this. It is nothing like what mankind call love. It just isn't. Some of the closest descriptions of this that I've found come from those who have had near-death experiences, NDEs. Now, they're mostly tongue-tied as they try to share what it's like, but you can tune in as they're sharing and see and feel for yourself. It's amazing. In our world, we've even been gypped of the ability to imagine God's love. Isn't that sad? Unfortunately, and I'm going to tell it like it is, we've had an ET as stand-in for God that got written up in the Bible. That one is not even pure. He indulges in some of the baser emotions. He's judgmental and often even cruel. We can't blame earlier mankind for thinking that these advanced races who came to visit were gods when they came, but we don't have to keep believing in them. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't believe in God or Source. I certainly do. This one I sometimes call Prime Creator. I don't remember where I heard that, but it stuck. It covers the bases. Come on, you can't put words or descriptions to God. It just doesn't work. So I don't try. Oh, there's a pretty little moth that just flew in and landed on the screen. Now that's interesting. Nothing's by chance, you know. Now, why did I mention that I view Jehovah as an ET? Because with that as our image of God, we can't get a clear view of what divine love would be like. That one doesn't have it, doesn't experience it for the race of man, preferring some over others and often quick to kill. So when I say, imagine what divine love would be, for some people, that's what they think of. And unfortunately, it's a polluted image. If Jehovah was honest, he would agree with me. And I'd be willing to put him the question, are you Prime Creator? And I trust he would say no. So, how are we to envision a love that's truly divine? As I say, the closest I've come is in the reports of those, many of their NDEs. Everything actually is so much easier once we are free of the weight of the body, the physical form. When we step out of it, the higher self that we actually are is much easier reached when you're out of your body. Add to that how our spiritual guides come to escort us into some of the experiences of heaven, and well, people are able to perceive this all-pervading love much more easily. But here's the thing, you already know what this is. You've had many more lifetimes than just this one, and you can call on them and their experiences. And so you've also had plenty of time in between lives. Dr. Michael Newton is one who specializes in working with people between lives, and Dr. Raymond Moody is a great one for examining the NDE. So there's a lot of experiences that have been shared for you to pursue. One of my favorite books on the subject is the first one written by Betty Eadie, Embraced by the Light. I cry when I read that. It's so beautiful. So go in heart. Call on your own experiences, if you please. When you're in heart, you never know when you're going to step into an experience like this. It's totally possible. After all, they are your own experiences, not someone else's, that you contain and you can contact within. So, you know the divine qualities directly. You know this awesome peace. You know divine joy. You really do. It's just a matter of recalling it, of remembering, or pulling your dismembered self back together. So, let's start out here by knowing that we have these experiences to call on. Just accept that you do. That's all. The rest will be done for you. That's how it works. No doing, just being is involved. Gosh, I guess there's no way to lead into this. I don't know what I'm doing here. It turns out I've been burying my light under a bushel, as the saying goes. I'm still getting adjusted to learning this, and it's been kind of rocking my world. Yeah, the world I had all neatly ordered and arranged turns out not to have been completely accurate. Big revelation. Imagine that, right? Well, that's what we get for believing our thoughts. Okay, I give up. What if you found out that one of your earlier embodiments, your earlier lifetimes, was as a god or a goddess? How do you think you would handle that? Do you think you'd be really cool with it and adjust to the knowledge easily? I guess I thought I did. I mean, when your major belief is that quite anything is possible, it has to include this as well. Nothing is excluded. Well, I guess I thought first that I didn't care, that it didn't really matter to me. I also thought that I'd be able to adjust or to adapt to anything pretty easily, just so it was truth. Both of these have turned out to be wrong. Oh, well, again, that's what we get for believing the mind and its thoughts. Bunch of lies is what they are. Don't think you know yourself, 'cause you don't. Anyway, I don't. Just know this, my friends. We are all the same. We're all one. No one, no, not anyone is better than anyone else. It just doesn't work that way. We take on different roles and different identities simply as different perspectives on life. Remember the huge, magnificent gem, faceted all around, and that source? We, each one, are a facet of that magnificent whole. The fire that burns brightly in the center there is the heart of God, is source, and source looks out upon creation from there. You might, oh no, I guess you won't see the moth flying. Through each one of the facets, source gets a different angle, a different perspective on what is. We are those perspectives, those eyes, those facets through whom source looks out on life. Did you ever look at it like that? Did you know that source looks out of your eyes? Be with that a moment, please. And remember the Sufi saying, these eyes through which I hoped to see God are the eyes through which God sees me. Isn't that beautiful? Sometimes it can bring tears to your eyes. What I want so very much is for all of us to be taking up our divine identities. We are all aspects of source. We truly are. This isn't made up. It's something that can be experienced directly. Once we get the false beliefs out of the way, those have been blinding us to this. We've been taught such things as we're miserable sinners and that we came from the apes and such junk. Neither perspective is worth a darn. Nothing but lies and programming. And they hit their mark for a while. Well, that while is over now. Let's make it so. Did you know or ever consider that you might be 35 or 135 million years old? Maybe billion. How do we know? Did such a thought ever cross your mind? It could be, you know. Time is an amazingly funny thing. And hey, eternity is a heck of a long time. Now, in all that time, or maybe more, just how many different kinds of roles do you think you might have played in the grand drama? that is the creation. I can tell you for sure that you've been on both sides of the good-bad thing. They're just two sides of the same coin in spite of the programming we were brought up on. We are not bad. Did you know that? Do you realize just how pure and beautiful you truly are? I doubt it. I came face to face with my own higher self once. Oh my God, you never saw anything so very beautiful. It was breathtaking. It was stunning. As she looked into my eyes and I looked into hers, in one of the only visions, actual visions I've ever had in this life, I became startled. What snapped me out of the vision is I had this particular thought. I realized that somehow she was me and that I had no idea what was going on behind those beautiful eyes. I didn't know what she was thinking. It was strange. Anyway, this is a divine beauty we are all graced with, my friends. You can't lose it. You can't abuse it. And you don't have to earn it. It just is. Just call it God's gift, I guess. It's already yours. And it is truly divine. There is no human perfection, no pretty skinny model stuff. We are, each and every one of us, we all have this awesome, breathtaking beauty that is divine. That is our reality, not these forms that we wear. These are kind of like cars that we drive, okay? Can we all step way back from the current model we're driving around? Can you do it? Sure you can, but will you? You are truly not that. You are nothing, whatever, that can be smelled, seen, touched in any way. You are not physical. You are divine. My hope is that we will all start identifying with the greater you, the you that's divine. We all truly are that, and we've no way of knowing currently what this world would be like today if we all simply knew this truth all along. I can bet that it wouldn't be like it is. So, in a way, we've been robbed of both our divine heritage and the world that we would just naturally create. Let's not cry in our beer, though. Come on, divine beings don't do that. Oh, no. Now that we're coming to know some of the real skinny, the real truth about our own identity, it's freedom time. It's time to step into those shoes. I think if you will look back over your recent life, you may see that you've already been showing signs of being divine. You just can't help yourself. But because you were taught to see the self in those other ways, you simply weren't being seen, not as you really are. We have been so repressed, my friends. We've really been beaten down by how hard, by how painful and challenging 3D life on Earth has been. We've had all the wrong ideas in our heads, not even knowing that's how creation works. Thoughts and beliefs create our world. And look what we were all taught to believe, all that garbage. Further, look how brother has been endlessly set against brother when we are really one magnificent family of our own, of the divine kind. So, right from the first, I want everyone cutting themselves and others Lots and loads of slack for all of this. Do you get what I'm saying here? No recriminations of any kind, not against self or against anyone else. What's done is done. Besides, one day we'll have a much greater understanding of things. We can wait. That day will come. Meanwhile, we can begin stepping into our own shoes again. We start now to remember our divine origin, our divine state. We are that. Go inside and feel it. If no one ever told you this before, now you know. You can go inside and figure this out for yourself as long as you stay strictly in heart or in your own inner core. This isn't anything mind is qualified to have an opinion on. So be sure to invalidate anything mind has to say on it. You will live your life differently if you plant this pack of seeds in your garden of belief. Do give it a try. And then be sure to be watering and tending these divine plants so that when you read or watch the next journal, you'll have a sense of your own identity. And then you can identify with me. You can see and experience a bit of what it's been like for me to be sort of forced to face up to this in a very particular way. I learned that one of my lifetimes was as a goddess, and it really threw me off. Till later then, I don't know what else to say. I'll try to upload this one and that one on the same day if it works out like that. But that's all I can say, you know. Often enough, I might have one idea, but I'm danced in an alternate way, if you get what I mean. Hey, ain't life grand? It certainly isn't boring.